And so it's just him talking about how he needed a new belt. And he just goes around in circles, and I love it.
And he did this with an onion.
He did this with an onion because, you see, back in those days, it was the style to tie an onion to your belt, but you couldn't get any white ones because of the war, so he had a big yellow onion. And so he goes over to Shelbyville to buy himself a belt, and he has to take the ferry. But back in those days, the ferry costs a nickel, and nickels had pictures of bees on them. So you'd go up to somebody and you'd say, "Give me 5 bees for a quarter," as was the style at the time.
That is
That's a roundabout way.
That is
Holy
a very
shit.
roundabout way to get to your point, but I appreciate the lengths that you took to get there.
Well,
Yes. Bravo to you, sir.
Welcome to
And our special guest today.
I'm a local drifter. They just kind of pulled me off the street.
Oh, God.
that's right.
My name's Gary.
And if you too are an aspiring actor that needs a ham sandwich and $5, you can come on down to Cut-Cast Studios where we'll cast you in something.
Just like Gary here, whose name is totally Gary.
Totally Gary.
What do you actually go by internet-wise?
I have
something, I
several
believe.
internet names. I've got my Reddit name, which is Hermit's Purple, and when I was on my buddy's stream for a while, when he was doing a lot of Twitch and YouTube stuff, it was it was that. And then also my PlayStation name, which, like anyone who was 14 and had a PlayStation, had a really stupid screen name that I don't really want to
Did you
share.
have 69 in it?
No.
Did you have 420 in it?
I had X13 in it.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, good. So
Fuck
you're
you.
so you're a Kingdom Hearts fan then.
Oh,
Yes,
my
I am.
Lord.
I very much am a Kingdom Hearts fan.
Were you more of a Zemnis or a Xehanort kind
I was
of
a
guy?
man's.
Oh, fuck you.
Okay.
Wow. I'm so upset that I know everything that you just said. Okay.
Then say what you will. Simple and Clean still slaps.
But I think he... do you go by Americana a lot?
Yeah, that's my Twitter name.
Okay.
Also, Rad Nasty,
Oh my-
Nasty.
Connor, the man of many names. Okay, what are we doing?
Yes. The man of many names.
What are we doing? I totally don't even...
We might as well start with just the fan questions.
Okay.
oh, shit.
Fan-
Yeah, the
fan
questions.
Fan.
Weird cyberpunk, kind of maybe like a headhunter of the future type name. Could you go ahead and recount the name, Isaac?
Are we starting with that one, or do we want to start with the email?
Wait, oh shit, is in...
We'll just start with that one.
Okay,
No, we'll start with that one.
Well, no, it doesn't matter to me.
What email can they send questions to?
Yes, that would be the Cuckcast, CUQ, @gmail.com.
That's superbestfriendcast at
Yeah.
gmail.com.
That's Linkara at at4wblogspot.com.
That's Christine W. Chandler at geocities.net.
Email April, your webmaster, at thespoonyone.com.
And Scarlet. In any case, if you send a email to cuqcast@gmail.com, it might sound something like this.
Question number 1 from our friend Jesse. What is your favorite nut?
Oh shit.
I'm a big fan of cashews.
Cashew's a good nut.
Yeah, cashews are great. Chocolate covered cashews are probably my favorite.
Macadamia, all the way.
That's my dad's favorite.
Yeah, that's a great one. You don't really need much else other than the macadamia itself.
I am not a nut guy.
That's fair.
I like nut butter, but not nuts.
Question. Are you privy to the store and stadium, the Nut Shack?
No.
But Luke, it's the Nut Shack.
It's the Nut Shack, man. I like almonds.
Ooh, almonds are good.
Almonds are really
They don't produce milk.
Yes, they
Yeah, I was arguing with my mom about that the other day. I demanded her to show me one tit of an almond.
Yeah, so
She could not produce
milk
others.
and almonds for me,
Here's
please.
the thing.
Yeah.
The breasts of the almond are on the inside of the shell. So when you shell it, you gotta make sure you save the shell so you can,
What?
express the milk and you get almond milk.
Okay, so let me try and just do this little diagram on a human if we're going like 1-to-1 scale here. Yeah, so we rip off their clothes, but we gotta make sure their clothes are still on, but caress the inside of their clothes so their tits overflow.
In the case of a human, you take the clothes and
Yeah.
the tits are in the clothes.
They are, I agree, but you said that you still need the skin.
Yeah. You don't need the nut in the almond to get the almond milk because it's on the shell. It's on the inside of the shell.
So instead of human titty milk being stored in the titty as per the name, eponymously, no, it's in the clothes. I buy my shit from Target and I'm like, oh shit, son, I got like a 4-month supply of titty milk. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm just worried you're buying clothes at Target.
Oh my god, okay, there's something right there. Yeah, no, buy all your clothes at like Meijer discounts or Target or anything like that, because I swear to god, it's like the best clothes that no one ever wants. Then again, being like a hobo is kind of my aesthetic.
I was gonna say, they don't have New Japan.
It on the road.
Yeah, oh fuck, I forgot about that. I still have that coat and I wear it like every other day.
No.
Yeah.
See, as much as I like, Meyer's clothing, they don't have Gorillas t-shirts or New Japan wrestling shirts.
Okay, that's
which is
fair.
why I buy most of my clothes at Hot Topic.
Well, no, that's a lie. I found New Japan at Meijer once.
Really?
I really did. I have a shirt of it.
Ooh,
My God.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go looking because I want me a Kenny Omega shirt.
Yeah. Wait, which one's the 3 beautiful black dudes with a unicorn?
The New
and
Day.
trombone.
Oh,
The trombones.
The New Day.
Oh, New
Yeah,
Day. Okay.
those guys are great. I
Yeah.
have a shirt of them too.
I thought
Do
you were talking about
Do you get out to? Do you stay up late to watch Monday Night Raw with your box of Bootios?
I think my favorite thing was when they dressed up like Vegeta. And
Oh,
they just
shit.
started like posing around, because that's probably one of the more anime moments in wrestling.
I mean,
It's like that, and then
It's me, Austin.
that's another top 10 anime betrayals. It's me, Austin.
Top 10 anime deaths is when Shane McMahon jumped off the top of the steel cage and landed on the fucking announcer's table.
the top 10 tragic anime moments is when Chris Benoit jumps off the steel cage with a knife right into his family instead.
My
Oh no.
God.
That's no
So we
good.
should get back to questions. Ben, would you like to take that?
Yeah, I'll take question 2. You ever thought about ducks having intercourse?
From what I understand, they have very corkscrew penises. Yes.
And very
Yes.
corkscrew vaginas.
Are they clockwise to match, or are they
No.
really
No,
the
it's
other way
just-
around?
It's just all, since ducks are very notorious rapists
Are
in
they?
nature, if you didn't
Yes.
know.
Okay,
As
so
we
this
have
is to
learned through
prevent the
scientifically
rape.
accurate.
I thought those were
Yes.
just
So
swans.
female ducks have a very labyrinthian
I was just
vagina.
about to say the same word.
Very labyrinthian, and has false entrances. Or not false entrances, like
Yeah, and
Like-
if you go the wrong way, you find a minotaur.
No, it's like
dead ends, and in some of those dead ends, there are actually like barbs and shit.
Oh shit!
It's like David Bowie's Labyrinth, where if you take the
Yeah.
wrong turn, it just plunges down into like this big field full of shit,
Yeah.
and you're just weighed down, so the head of your penis is just full of like all of your childhood possessions, and there's this old woman telling the head of the penis to like, oh, it's fine, you're going to need this.
I'm just
Don't
imagining-
you like your toys?
I'm just imagining, my cock going through an MC Escher painting.
While David
Well,
Bowie's
beautiful
juggling
David
balls.
Bowie's, yeah, exactly.
Dance Magic
Scooby.
Dance.
No, I have not thought
Ground
about
control
ducks
to
having
Major
intercourse
Tom.
that much. I would have had these thoughts much sooner, but thank you for giving us the canvas on which to think about it, Jesse.
I actually started thinking about this after I started watching Scientifically Accurate, which I don't know if you remember, was a show on Fox's briefly lived animation domination in high
yes.
definition, which was fantastic, by the way.
It's so good.
That had some of the best Major Lazer music videos I've ever seen.
It really did.
It really did. It was fantastic, and they did a really cool send-up of Hayao Miyazaki, which was good. But yeah, they do scientifically accurate DuckTales, and ducks are not only rapists, but they're also necrophiles.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's amazing. Dude, ducks are cool. How come I didn't know
Isn't
about this?
nature fascinating?
Wait, are you telling me that
I need David Attenborough to tell me all this.
the Neon Demon, as I presumed it was a feature film, is actually a documentary?
Yes.
Okay, never mind then. Okay.
Yeah, it's a retelling of The Ugly Duckling.
The ugly duckling who walks down a model line.
All right, next question.
So, coming in again from Jorts. Do you remember your First World War? I do. I actually do. I don't know if you all remember this, but do you remember the first time that Nintendo actually went to war with Xbox?
No.
Wait,
No.
no, I don't.
Back in 2006, there was a whole push for the Wii U, or for the Wii, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was kind of like the resurgence. That was kind of like the second Japanese invasion of American sales. And so it became this whole back and forth of the Xbox 360, which was honestly the big dominant thing at the time, because PS3 had yet to really establish itself with like real titles.
Well, and it was so fucking expensive when they first started too. It was like a good $100 or $150 more than the competition.
Yeah.
And plus, you can only play DMC4 so many times, and before you get bored, it's like, fuck, what other games are there?
Yeah.
White Knight Chronicles? No thanks.
Exactly. So that's like the first World War that I really remember. I don't know about the rest of you.
I'm trying to think of World Wars. Luke, you got anything?
That time that the Doctor went back to the bombing of London and met Captain Jack Harkness, and
Come on, Luke, if we're gonna bring up real World Wars, we gotta bring up Season 4, the season finale, where all the companions came back. That was a real World War. Come on, that was just London.
Yeah, but I
was a
saw the
multi-world
other
war.
one
This
first.
fucking Earth
Wait,
planets
are
were getting stolen.
Are you talking about the season finale where Hitler blew his brains out?
No,
Oh.
I'm talking about the one where like Mickey and Jack and Rose all came back, and it was
Martha.
and
I believe Donna was
Don't
there.
forget
No?
Martha.
oh, that's right, her one bit of character development where she actually became interesting for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then she hooked up with Mickey and lost all of it because Mickey is boring and uninteresting.
So
Okay,
fucking
Mickey's
lost.
more interesting than
Talking about
Martha.
Doctor Who.
Oh, I'll sit this one out.
It's okay, Ben, it'll be over soon.
Are you saying you didn't like Gridlock? Gridlock is one of my favorite Martha episodes.
Gridlock is okay, but what I'm saying is Martha was boring compared to everyone else.
Well, everyone's gonna say that because like she came off the heels of Rose Tyler, who's
Also
if we're
pretty boring. I prefer Donna over Martha and Rose.
Donna just...
Can we talk about how Donna forgot about the doctor and then proceeded to become a businesswoman and move to a small town in Pennsylvania?
Wait,
Yes.
which one is the one that drank the polyjuice potion?
That's gonna be Hermione. She is in.
Fuck
She's
you.
not in David Tennant's season. She's in Matt Smith's season.
Oh, Matt Smith, that's his name. Yeah,
I love
he's literally in Harry Potter.
No, it's
No.
David Tennant.
No,
That's David
Tennant.
Tennant.
That's
Yeah.
David Tennant.
Wait, Matt Smith is the one that kind of look.
He kind of looks melty.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, you
looks
said
like
it
Doctor
way better than I was gonna say.
Wait,
it, so-
how
Like
did
a
you
candle.
say it?
Matt Smith looks like a melty candle.
Okay.
He literally looks like someone held a flame up to him for like 4 hours.
Yes, he does.
Since we're on a Doctor Who tangent, the episodes, I believe it's season 6.
Oh my god.
The almost people and I think the other one's the living flesh or something like that,
Mhm.
where it has the people that emerge from this weird flesh type stuff and become duplicates, and the Doctor gets one. Yes, he looks incredibly melty in that.
Wait, okay, so maybe you can elaborate for me because I have no fucking clue.
Mhm.
So he has a screwdriver, right?
Yes.
Not anymore.
Correct? Not anymore.
It's
Well,
sunglasses.
But now,
No.
now that we do have Jodie
No, it's
Whittaker as a
not.
doctor, I believe we are getting the screwdriver again.
Yes, we are.
But as of right now,
I don't
in
even
canon,
watch the
there
show
is
and
not
I'm
one.
pissed. Okay.
All right,
So it's a screwdriver, right?
Yes.
A sonic screwdriver.
Yes.
Am I correct? Is
Yes.
that the name?
Yes.
Okay. And it solves any problem at the push of a button.
Unless
doesn't
it's
work-
not wood.
it doesn't work
It
with
doesn't
wood.
work with wood. It doesn't work with wood.
It doesn't work with wood?
Nope.
Why not wood? There's so much wood on Earth.
Well, he's not from Earth.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
You expect
wait.
Time Lords to build with wood at
Yeah,
some
of
point in their
course.
society? What the fuck is wrong
Of
with
course.
you?
I don't want to build with schleem. I don't know what they use.
You gotta take the schlami.
That's right.
And spit on it.
Spit it out.
Anyway, thank you.
There's two more.
I don't like my outfit today.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's a
Jesse, I'm
problem.
sorry. I am in no control of that, but I'm sure you look lovely.
And where's the bathroom here? It's right there. Next
it's
question.
right behind you.
Yeah, it's over there. It's
Wow.
around some shit.
Ah, you
That
need
was
your
quick.
laptop for this
Yes. Our next question comes in from longtime listener TBop Skitty, coming in from Europa. Wherever you are, stay frosty out there.
T-Box.
Did he make you Did he have you come up with that call sign?
No, because last time I heard the name
Actually-
T-Bop Skitty and I could only assume
See?
that she had 3
Right here.
human
T-Bop Skitty.
heads resting against her hip as they jostled across her while she was going across the desert.
Are you
is
saying
this
that
woman?
Are you saying that T-Bop is Zaphod Beeble Rocks?
Fucking pardon?
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh shit!
Are you
Oh
saying
my
Zaphod Beeble Rocks is a woman now?
I
They
mean,
changed that?
Yeah. Wait, no,
I'm trying to
she's
think
the
of-
Alan Rickman droid.
Oh, okay.
It's me.
T-Bop, if you're
I'm very depressed right now.
T-Bop, if you're listening to this, please don't hunt us down because, as we all know, you're basically just Lobo, but pink.
Like the DC
Lobo?
villain Lobo.
Like,
And he
like
is
the
part of the
main
Justice
man.
League right now, so he is not technically a villain.
I love Lobo.
Oh, is she IG-88? Is that an apt comparison?
It's a robot from
Kind
Star
of.
Wars.
Maybe less. She's more like what is it? Dengar.
Oh, yeah. Fuck Dengar. But not T-Bop Skitty.
Anyway, coming in from T-Bop, coming out on the Europa circuit. How did I link to the podcast? That's a very good question. We're gonna,
Working on it.
yeah. Now
I believe this is our part 2 of the opening.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
we've
Yeah, why not?
we've delegated the editing duties, so I'm gonna be taking care of that. Next question is, how do we know what to ask if you don't have a theme? Who is your target audience? That's an also really good question. So with all podcasts, our inherent target audience is males 18 to 26 with disposable income.
Give
And
me more money.
That's right.
basically, and being in that demographic ourselves, essentially, this is just another video game pop culture podcast. You've heard this on Pop Culture, Let's Fight a Boss, the Pizza Pan Party podcast, Super Best Friend Cast,
Would you put my
The
brother,
Dick
my brother,
Show.
and me in
The
there?
Dick Show. What's up?
Would you put my brother, and me in there?
Kind of. We're
Gotta
not as
have my
funny as
babe.
them. And what is your other content besides audience questions? That's a really good question because I'm pretty sure, Connor, you wanted to talk about Spoderman.
Yes.
Batman
yes.
Penis.
I actually, a few days ago, I finished the new Spider-Man game that came back for PS4.
Please try to remain spoiler free for those of us
I
who are
most,
still
I
going
most
through it.
definitely will. I will not give away any major story spoilers, including one massive one that gets revealed early in the game. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
Ooh, very
But,
sorry.
Real quick,
Very sad.
Centipede.
the mention of Hitchhiker's Guide
We're
to the
getting
Galaxy.
drunk. Sorry.
Ben, instead
We're
of
drunk.
Zaphod Beeble Rocks, were you referring to Eccentrica Galumpitz, the far-famed triple-breasted whore of Eroticon 6?
From Total Recall?
No.
I was
From
just
Hitchhiker's
thinking
Guide
the
to the
same-
Galaxy.
I was
Oh.
just thinking the same thing, but yes, you're also correct.
Some people say her erogenous zones stretch 4 miles. I disagree. I say it's 5.
I would too, actually. That seems
5.5.
You know,
That
that
seems
might be stretching it. Yeah.
So, yes, Spider-Man, if I had to give one short review to it, is buy it. Buy it.
I'd like to.
I will
Buy a
put
PS4
I'll
and
put
buy
an
it.
amend to that. Buy that if you're into the Arkham style games, because this is very much an Arkham game where instead of running around and gliding, you're swinging on a web.
Oh, you make it sound so bad.
What? No,
You make it sound so
Arkham's
like,
a fun game.
Arkham game.
no.
Arkham's
I'm just
a
saying.
fine game.
If
know,
you're
I'm just saying,
if you're
it's-
expecting like a vast amount of shit to do, it's a collectathon with Arkham style combat. That's what it is.
It's a collectathon, but from what I'm hearing, it's also like scaled that down a little bit. Like there's only 12 pigeons as
Yes.
Right, there's 12 pigeons. There's 12 pigeons. There's 12 black cat hideouts.
Do them. Do the black cat
Passion.
missions.
Yes,
They
but
really got
then
ahead of themselves
there's
last time.
50 landscapes.
There's
Or-
50 photo ops, 50 secret photo ops, 12 black cat stakeouts, 55 backpacks, which are incredibly easy to get because you're
Yeah.
fucking Spider-Man. You don't have to worry about getting ground to air very slowly. It's just like
Is there no Spider-Man porno parody spots?
there are not,
Dang.
but there's if you have it turned on, you can turn it off in the audio settings if you so please, but you can listen to J. Jonah Jameson's podcast because
That's the best.
He's basically Alex Jones.
I've seen the clips. They're
Yeah.
great.
Also, the puzzles are
Alright,
elementary.
yeah.
puzzles are easy, and if you don't want to do them anyways,
You can skip them.
In the options, there's an option to skip puzzles and also to churn all of your tap QTEs to just press.
Yeah, so...
So if you don't want to mash the square button a bunch of times to stop a moving car, you can just hit it once.
Yeah.
I've heard it's very, like, in terms of swinging and all that, very similar to Spider-Man 2 on PS2.
It's very similar.
It's similar, but it's so much better.
Okay, good.
It is... I'm not the only person saying that this is the best web swinging in a Spider-Man game since Spider-Man 2.
I agree with that.
Unless we want to talk about Ultimate Spider-Man, in which case I'll talk about that
Okay,
all day,
yeah, me too. Because
Ultimate Spider-Man's my
Spider-Man's
favorite
fucking
video
dope.
game.
Yeah.
Ultimate Spider-Man was one of my favorite PS2
It
games.
was great.
Was that the one that was based off of the MTV cartoon?
No.
It looked like it, though.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it had the same art style, but it followed the Eddie Brock arc.
Really?
Yeah.
Of Ultimate
That
Spider-Man.
one!
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I did play that.
Yeah.
That was a fun game.
That was really dope,
Mhm.
especially the Venom missions. I was not expecting them to be that fun, but they really were.
Speaking of Venom...
Oh yeah, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta talk about the new Venom trailer.
We gotta talk about being a turd in the wind.
We also gotta talk about how
how I drop.
how they retroactively fixed it. So in the Venom movie universe canon, it is now symbiote and not symbiote.
Good.
Oh, good.
And I believe people are theorizing that the main villain is going to be Riot.
I don't know what that is.
He's
So-
another symbiote.
Yeah.
Not Carnage.
Not the good one.
Okay, never mind.
Not,
Okay.
not the one that people remember,
Not the
but
one that
his like
people love.
shitty spawn.
Oh, you're talking about Toxin?
Toxin's a cool character.
I know.
Toxin's a cool idea.
Screech.
From Saved by the Bell.
Yes,
We just get
in
Mario
the-
Lopez in
in the Marvel universe, Dustin Diamond does exist, and he was attacked by a symbiote and became a symbiote called Screech.
It all fits. He was in a bunch of pornos too, so this works. This works well.
Okay, but I would watch Tom Hardy fight Mario Lopez. I think that'd be an
Oh, yeah,
interesting.
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Wait, who's the Mexican comedian? Yeah, Carlos Mencia. Yeah, I want to see him fight Carlos Mencia.
You can't stop me, Venom. Enter the mind of Mencia.
That's right.
I'll stop you.
Weird.
I'll stop you right now.
His weird YouTube videos. Have you seen those?
No.
Oh, they're so goddamn weird. It's like he's a 3D version of himself, like a Max Headroom type version of himself,
Oh,
just
no.
delivering jokes like one at a
Christ.
time.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're only like 20-second long videos, but they're the weirdest fucking thing. I swear to God, he thinned down, right,
Mhm.
and then he became less funny.
That's why
Which
he
is sad,
became
because
less
it was
funny
not
because
funny
he
to begin
didn't
with.
slim down.
He
I'm
was
Drew
not funny
Carey.
to begin with either, so that's really hard to believe.
Alright, going into news real quick.
Sure.
So this morning it was announced that Sony is releasing a PlayStation Classic
That's
console.
right.
It's going to come with 20 games already sold, including Tekken 3.
Interesting.
So I'll probably pick it up.
If you want to stave off your hunger for the Final Fantasy VII remake, drop $100 on a PlayStation Classic and play Final Fantasy VII again.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
$20 on Steam.
Yeah.
Nah, you couldn't. No, you can, but I'm saying
Oh.
I'm saying you can't because Sony.
Okay, I was gonna say. I
Sony's
know
like, no, buy this.
I was
The
gonna say-
controller cords are still too short.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
just
weird.
don't get, like, for me, I just don't get why, here's another thing that you can play Final Fantasy on, or, like,
Yeah.
another thing that you can play Fortnite on.
Can we talk about how, like, so many Final Fantasy games are coming to the Switch except for 8? A big solid fuck you to Final Fantasy 8, which I'm so behind.
Okay, but who cares about Squall?
That's
Exactly.
right. The weird
I've seen-
mind fuck at the end, or whatever.
I've seen, like, pictures of people just, like, talking about it, and then it's, like, either Squall or Renoa just, like, turning away. It's like, whatever.
You know, the only game that Squall is good in, yeah?
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts.
Exactly, that's goddamn right.
Which is because he's not Squall, he's Leon.
It's Leon.
Squall has objectively the worst weapon in all of Final Fantasy.
Oh, I agree.
The Gunblade is fucking stupid.
It
is.
It's
Yeah.
it's much dumber than a sword made of water or just a giant slab of iron.
You know, like, the thing about Final Fantasy VIII, too, is that it had so much potential because it had, like, the action point system, which was, like, different from any other Final Fantasy at that time.
Fuck the
But
draw
then they,
system.
they fucked it. They implemented the worst rules with the dumbest character. So, fuck it.
Yep.
Fuck it! Fuck it!
Fancy a game of triple triad.
Oh, yeah.
In other news, Netflix announced a live-action adaptation for Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's going to be a full series,
saw that.
not a movie, but it will be live action.
Starring Jackson Rathborn and Dev Patel again.
Whoa!
And
They
no
specifically
whatever the fuck.
they specifically said several times in interviews, we're not whitewashing the cast.
We're not going to have any white people.
Yeah, basically. So,
What was the Earth Kingdom? Because, like, the Fire Kingdom was basically Japan.
Yeah.
Water Kingdom was the Inuit tribes. You could reason that, like, the air nomads were
Buddhists.
Yeah.
China.
Yeah.
I mean, I see that.
Say that.
yeah, I guess. Okay.
There are no white people in Ba Sing Se.
That's right.
There really aren't.
That's right.
What are you talking about? I see them everywhere. There are no white people in Ba Sing Se.
Up until Bo Lin came along, I don't think there really... Is Bo Lin even white? Do you guys remember
I don't know.
Legend of Korra?
Because the thing
I
to
enjoyed
me,
Legend of Korra. I know
So-
some people.
Yeah,
did
I
not.
really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like Steampunk
like
Avatar.
season 1. Season 2 is fucking dumb, and season 3 is really, really, really good.
Did you
And
watch
then
season 4?
What?
Season 4.
Season 4?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. Season 4 is good too. It's not as good as
The
3,
one
though.
time as an adult I went to Nickelodeon's website was to watch Korra season 4.
Oh really?
Yeah,
That's funny.
because for whatever reason they just didn't want to air it. It would interfere with their reruns of SpongeBob and the Fairly Odd Parents. Much like anything new on Cartoon Network would interfere with
Steven
Teen
Universe.
Titans Go.
Don't talk about Steven Universe. Don't talk about Steven Universe. Like, I love Steven Universe.
Do you actually?
I
They
enjoy Steven
never
Universe. I very
run
much do.
reruns of Steven Universe.
No, they never will, and it's bullshit.
Never.
They wouldn't even
Why?
run reruns of
Because it's
Adventure
too
Time
gay.
because
Okay,
Teen Titans.
that's fair.
No, because Teen Titans Go.
Didn't they just make a movie of that?
Yep.
Yeah, Teen Titans Go
And
to
they
the
made
movies.
the announcement that the original Teen Titans was coming back.
Yeah, I
Season
saw
6.
that.
Exclusively on the DC Universe app.
Fuck me, no.
Or-
I'm getting that app anyway.
I know you are,
You know
but
I will.
colloquially it'll be known as the Fuck Batman app.
Alright, in other news, I don't know if we all know this or not, but this movie, Grumpy Old Men, is getting a reboot.
Why?
Interesting.
Why?
I don't know why, but they made a casting announcement that Eddie Murphy will be in it.
Why?
Eddie
Why?
Murphy's not grumpy
The
though.
whole point of grumpy old men is that they're crusty white dudes.
Yeah,
That's
you-
the whole point.
You should just get Clint Eastwood in there, and he can. It'll
That'd
just
be great.
That'll just-
Harrison Ford.
yeah. Clint
Oh
Eastwood
my
and
God.
Harrison Ford.
That'd be great.
Remember that one time that Clint Eastwood acted with a monkey and it was great?
A monkey.
Pardon? And wait, which I'm struggling to think. Which one?
I think it was like it wasn't Bedtime for Bongo because that was Reagan. But no,
It's bedtime for
Bedtime
Bongo.
for Bongo. That definitely sounds like some sort of sexual torture.
or a '50s movie.
Or is it actually?
Yes.
Bad Time for Bongo? Oh my
$5.
god. I bet I'm going to trust you wholeheartedly.
But no, I know for a fact that Clint Eastwood acted with an orangutan. So,
They call it the United States government. Oh, slapper.
you know what my favorite thing about Clint Eastwood is?
What's that?
He loves JoJo.
Does he actually?
Yes.
That's
he-
great.
Yeah, who is it? Iraqi based one of his characters off of Clint Eastwood, and Clint
That's
Eastwood's
cool.
like,
Oh, I've seen that. They're
Did
both
you know?
standing together.
did you know?
Did you
Welcome
know?
to Did You Know Anime.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
of Watch Mojo.
It's an actual thing, though.
Do you know who Michael Nesmith is?
Sounds familiar.
Yes.
He was one of the main people in the Monkeys.
Yes!
Did
Okay.
you see the thing with him recently?
No.
Is that Michael Nesmith professes love of like deep internet subgenre or whatever, vaporwave, and I was like, no fucking shit. That's cool.
That's
I
pretty
bet your
cool.
heart just soared when you heard that.
What's that?
I bet your heart just soared when you
I
heard
did.
that.
I was like, oh fuck yeah, you're cool, dude.
Hey, Mesh, if you're listening to this, wherever you are out in the Mesh Cave, can you please remix the Monkeys theme or Daydream Believer with, like, old Dawn commercials or something?
He, I found recently on his old YouTube channel, he did the theme from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia 800 times slower. And he did it with, he mixed that with like magnetic waves crashing or whatever. And I'm like, motherfucker, did you just create the end of Evangelion? I was like, god damn it. It works so good. It works stupidly good. And he did it so well.
This next one, I don't really care about the main part of the article. I don't care about the Trump thing.
Mm-hmm.
But Jack Black did get his star on the Walk of Fame.
Oh.
On the Walk of Flame?
On the Walk of Flame.
Wow, on the Walk of Flame!
Yeah.
Sorry.
The Walk of Flame. I hear they make some good Chinese.
Cut to Waka Flames Snapchat where he's like, yo man, just got this sick tattoo and it's a fucking star, it has Jack Black's name on it. I fucking love Tenacious D, man.
I love the story because his speech was like, well, When I was growing up, I thought when you get the star, that means you made it. I made it. I'm retiring.
Is that Kyle Gass?
It is.
My God, he looks old.
They both look just
Well, Jack Black looks kind of like Michael Moore.
a little bit. I see it.
Also,
With
Michael
a
Moore.
beard, yeah.
Michael Moore has a new documentary coming out.
It
Of
looks
course he
like
does.
shit.
Fahrenheit. I think it's like Fahrenheit 119.
Yeah, 11/9. Yeah, because that's like the day that Trump was voted in, I guess. So,
Oh.
yeah.
So that's going to be a trip if y'all want to watch it.
The
Next
thing
in the
is-
news. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Michael Moore, like Fahrenheit 9/11 or whatever, and Bowling for Columbine are arguably like good movies. He's not made like anything good since then. It's all
Yeah.
just been like
Not
weird
even-
political ramblings.
He's
Not
very-
even during the Flint water crisis documentary he shot in his own hometown,
Yeah.
mind you. It's just like,
It's like it's weird because like he's obviously like good enough of a filmmaker to make that kind of movie work. Because I don't necessarily agree with his politics. Like I would say even 50% of the time. But I'd still think that he's fun enough to watch just to see what he does.
oh yeah,
In
without a
those
doubt.
two, the rest of them are all crazy. They're like
Well-
ramblings.
I think that he's very much a product of the time. You know, he's very
Yeah.
much a Bush era kind of feel. It's the same reason why the X-Files doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
Because
Even though it's getting another season.
even though it's getting
It's getting
another
another
season.
season. Are you shitting me?
No,
Are Duchovny and what's her face coming back?
I believe so.
Oh my
I
god.
thought
No,
she
it's
was
Robert
done.
Patrick.
Is she done?
Yeah.
He was a big
Well, I
part
can't
of it
think
for
of her
a
name.
while,
I feel
right?
terrible.
He was in the
for it.
next
It's Jillian
season.
something. Gillian Anderson? Is it Gillian Anderson?
Gillian Anderson.
Yeah.
God damn, Gillian Anderson's hot.
She is.
Gillian
Yes.
Anderson's very attractive.
Scully is.
Yeah, I guess
Scully, through every incarnation of the X Files, is a very, very attractive woman.
I guess that's true.
She's also eating all the time whenever she's dissecting something.
Yeah, she's not afraid to eat.
She's not afraid to eat.
I mean, she's tough.
In any case, what's the next
Yeah,
article?
next up, Roseanne Barr's in the news again.
Oh, yeah.
Not for moving to Israel like she's claiming she's going to, because
Okay.
that's where you go for peace of mind.
Clearly.
But she believes that they're going to kill her character with an opioid overdose on the Connors.
I mean, who wouldn't, you know?
I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they killed John Goodman's character before by having him eat himself to death and then have a heart attack.
That's right. I forgot about that. That's real.
That's such a weird...
It's weird because the article says she believes her character will die in that way.
What, did she have a dream?
But
about
her
it?
exact words are, they had her die of an opium or an opium overdose. Like,
I want to see footage of Roseanne Barr as the character Roseanne Connor on the set in a bed smoking an opium pipe like she's Johnny Depp from hell, and she just dies. And fucking Michael Fishman or Johnny Galecki comes up and just like, good night, sweet prince.
What kind of like 1940s Hong Kong noir is this?
It says opium.
I know. I'm questioning her. I'm so confused.
yeah, no, she's crazy.
Because opioid and opium are not the same thing.
She, her former husband Tom Arnold is also crazy.
Oh shit!
Me and
she
my
was married
roommate-
to Tom Arnold.
Yeah,
Star of the Stupids, Tom Arnold?
me and my roommates, we just got Sling so we could watch football and everything. And one of the channels came included was Viceland, and we immediately switched on Viceland because thought, oh, maybe we'll watch something cool, maybe something about weed or some other random shit because it's Vice and it's literally anything now. And it was Tom Arnold doing an investigative show drama where he's hunting for the Donald Trump piss tape.
Fun.
It's called Hunt for the
What?
Trump Tapes.
Wow.
We
how
watched
very
probably
subtle.
about 15 minutes of it where he's trying to get like audio and archival footage of Donald Trump on the Howard Stern show. Because of course, if that's how you want to prove that Donald Trump's a bad guy, get the transcripts when he was on Howard Stern where everybody looks
I was
bad.
about
Yeah.
to say. I just got Showtime for one reason and one reason only, and I bet you can get what that or guess what that reason is.
Dexter.
No, not fuck you, not Dexter.
Wait, what's wrong with Dexter?
I watched all of Dexter.
Is it
and it's
because-
so not worth it?
Is it
No,
because of the
I'm-
student Spotify now gives you Hulu and Showtime?
Well, that's
It
true,
does.
but why? There's one reason why I
God, I
activated it though.
There's what?
There's
Shameless.
only one. No, not Shameless.
Smilf?
Pardon?
Smilf.
Smilf. No.
Single mother.
No.
Ray Donovan.
No, that's also actually an alright show though.
Yeah, man. What's his name?
The
Ray
Wire.
Stevenson. Ray Stevenson's a good actor.
Box.
No, you're missing one pivotal continuation of a show.
Oh, Twin Peaks.
Yeah, there you go.
I just automatically assumed you had watched Twin Peaks: The Return.
Yeah, I didn't have. I mean, I had Spotify, but I didn't have the deal or whatever back then. And now I just got it, and my God, I watched episode 8 really, really high, and I shouldn't have.
I mean, Ben, they had it all for free at the library.
Did they actually? That's so funny.
What have we been watching?
I recently watched Unforgiven and Bone Tomahawk.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. I've been going through a real, post-Western phase. I think it's because I kind of like that breaking of the American traditions and norms, which is also why I'm into, what's his name? David Lynch.
Yeah.
Fucking Bone Tomahawk.
I've heard it's gory.
It's not as gory as you would think.
Interesting.
It's brutal though.
Okay.
It takes a while to get to that point, which is great.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of good horror movies do, is they kind of build that up. But it's Kurt Russell and who is it? I cannot remember his name for the life of me. He was the owl in Watchmen.
Oh shit.
Patrick
yeah,
Wilson.
I know. Yeah, Patrick Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick Wilson is great in it. But then again, I think he's a great actor despite that.
He's your favorite Raoul in Phantom, isn't he?
Does he ejaculate flames?
He's certainly my favorite protagonist in Fargo.
Okay, that's a good
Oh,
way of
yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Good
Oh,
way
yeah.
of going about it. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What about you boys?
I since I'm working on the movie right now, things have been real slow in terms of media consumption. But two things that have stood out was The Nun, which is basically a non-movie, nothing happens. Do you boys and audience collectively care if I ruin one?
I don't even care.
I'm aware of what happens.
Yeah, literally nothing. No one dies.
Oh.
Yeah. But she sure does spit out the blood of Jesus Christ onto a crazy demon nun.
It was all set up for movies that already came out.
It was. It was the weirdest fucking pacing I've ever seen. I was like, by the time it got to the actual nun fight or whatever you want to call that.
Nun fight!
Nun fight, yeah. But by the time they got there, I was like, alright, cool. End of the first act.
I saw it after watching Nick Spears' review on it.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Seeing her views on it. I was
That's
like,
right.
You know what? You're not selling it as a good movie, but I'm gonna watch it anyways.
And the other big thing that I watched was Putney Swope. Have you ever heard of that?
Nope.
That was recommended by Paul Thomas Anderson. It's one of his favorite films. And I actually had it in it's not Criterion, but it's Eclipse, where they have box sets of an entire filmmaker's filmography or whatever.
Oh, dope.
It's Robert Downey Sr., so Junior's dad, and he was a weirdo. And
He was Boo Radley.
he was a really, really weird guy. He was Boo Radley. I forgot about that.
Wow.
Yeah, and Putney Swope is really cool because it's an ad agency where the one black dude that's on the executive board just keeps getting shit on, but he accidentally comes to power as the main guy.
So it's like the Hudsucker Proxy.
He kicks out a little bit. He kicks out all of the white people except for one and renames it Truth and Soul. It's
Damn.
awesome. It's really, really funny.
What about you?
1968 or
Oh,
something.
so let's say Connor first.
Well, in terms of watching, been watching the new season of The Deuce.
Oh yeah.
My favorite holdover until Game of Thrones comes back.
Do you actually like Game of Thrones?
I love Game of Thrones.
Not get into
I
it.
neither could I.
I don't like the last couple seasons.
Yeah.
I like the books.
All of which I very much understand. Very well. Very, very much understand everyone's points of view as to why they don't like recent things of Game of Thrones or Game of Thrones entirely.
I don't hate it entirely. It's just the thing about that show is that it's super inconsistent to me. Its highs are super fucking high, but its lows are often a long time.
Well, apparently someone. This is an outline of season 8
Oh shit.
that got out, but it's not necessarily what is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just probably one of the few plot threads. It was a video I watched this morning. Not a big fan if that ends up being the direction it goes. Specifically,
That's its final season anyway, isn't it?
okay, it is, but okay. So since this is just an outline, and if I actually like spoil Game of Thrones the final season with there being no knowledge as to what is going to happen. I'm sorry, but it's gonna everybody basically. Jon Snow's gonna die. Daenerys is gonna die. Jon Snow's gonna kill Daenerys to fucking bring forth Lightbringer to stop the White Walkers. It's a magic sword, Ben.
Yeah.
Bran gets into a mental battle to help Jon with the Night King.
Okay.
And then after the Night King has been defeated, the final battle all takes place in the throne room, but it's all busted out and snowing like it is in Dany's vision in season 2.
Oh, so it's like Akira.
Yes.
Yeah, it actually really is. Wow.
And so
Holy shit.
After that, it then ends with them deciding that a new king can be decided upon once every 5 years. So democracy.
What kind of pussy shit is that?
It's Tyrion's idea.
Oh, fuck you, Tyrion.
Cersei dies giving birth to her last bastard offspring, who she entrusts to Tyrion. The child apparently is a dwarf named Tywin. So Cersei sees the error of her ways as she dies giving birth to her dwarf her dwarf nephew's son.
What is this fanfic level shit?
And then Arya leaves Westeros to go just like explore the world.
Wait, Arya leaves Westeros again?
But
Holy shit!
But this time she goes to the west. Theon becomes king of the Iron Islands.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No.
he doesn't.
Yes,
No,
he
he
does.
doesn't. He
Yes,
can't
he
fucking
does.
sire any heirs. The entire point of having a fucking king is that they can fuck.
That's true. He's gotta have a willy.
And Jon Snow dies in a way similar to how he died in season 5.
Just gets stabbed by a bunch of people.
No, but this time, apparently the resurrection magic only worked like Gandalf the White purposes, which is bullshit because Beric Dondarrion is still alive. Henry Cavill, Superman, has been confirmed to be playing Geralt of Rivia.
And they are
in
looking for
Netflix's
a
Witcher
ethnic actress, whatever they prefer, for Ciri, which...
Why? She's a fucking albino.
I know.
She's like super duper white.
I
Yeah.
mean, as...
She's as white. She's almost as white as Geralt, who is the white guy.
Are there any
the
black
White
people in Poland?
No, there are no black people in fantasy Poland, Witcherland. But you know what? I'm okay with it. You know, the same
Like, if
way...
it makes sense, it makes sense. It's
Yeah.
like not meant to be racially insensitive.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they added a black guy to Robin Hood, and there were exactly a lot of black people hanging around England.
That's true.
But
Well,
Yeah,
not
but they
in high
see-
standing positions, you know.
no, they were usually just
What
like
exactly?
warriors.
What exactly was Aziz's job in Robin Hood's in the Merry Men?
He was the black guy.
Yeah.
Was he a mystic?
He had soul.
He had
Heart
soul. Are you thinking of Aziz or Achu?
I'm thinking about you.
Achu
Yes,
was
that's right.
rad.
Bless you. That's right.
He's what is it? He's cocksure and bull strong, or maybe the other way around.
I forgot about that.
Oh man, Robin Hood Men in Tights. It's
That-
probably my favorite filmed adaptation of Robin Hood.
Who did that version?
That was Mel Brooks.
Okay, I thought
And then
so.
it's Carrie Elwes as
Yeah.
Robin Hood, which
Yep.
is pitch perfect casting.
It's like
Yep.
his role. That's like what I think of when I hear that name.
Yeah, he's basically an Errol Flynn
It
impersonator,
really is.
but I'm okay with that because I
And then he's
really
in
like
Saw.
Errol Flynn.
And then he's in Saw.
And
Yeah.
then he's
All right, so to cycle back to what I was saying, yes, I've been watching The Deuce as my Game of Thrones hangover for a
Yeah.
while, and it's really good. One thing I thought was strange is that so the first season is set in late 1971, early 1972. For season 2, they do a 5-year time jump, so it's 1977. So a lot of stuff happened in that 5 years in which like the James Franco brothers have a new bar. The good James Franco brother passed down the bar in season 1 to his girlfriend. Their brother-in-law has a secret family.
Are they just basically turning it into Boogie Nights?
Not really, because they the porn is still there. Maggie Gyllenhaal was really good in this season compared to how she did in season 1.
Okay.
They did a really good job having her be play a busted, sad all the time hooker, but now she looks good, got a new hairstyle, she's not wearing wigs all the time,
Yeah.
and she's basically an assistant director for all these porn films, and she's looking to branch out and do more artistic films. And so they introduced this female director who got her start Maggie Gyllenhaal did.
That's
And-
fantasy.
Yeah. And she graduated from doing porn to doing slasher films.
Okay, that's a good switch up.
That's a lateral movement.
Yeah.
What about you, Luke?
All right. So I don't know if I mentioned it last time or not, but I finally got to see "Won't You Be My Neighbor."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fucking fantastic
I need to
documentary.
see it. I really need to
If
see
you're
it.
gonna watch it and you grew up with Mr. Rogers like
Yeah.
I did, have tissues at the ready.
Yeah.
That I cried throughout the whole thing, and I was expecting it in the end,
Yeah.
but through like the beginning and the middle also, I was like, this is fucking bullshit. I finally saw the Nick Offerman indie film Hearts Beat Loud.
Oh yeah.
Not a bad movie.
Okay.
The music in it is really well done.
Interesting.
I recommend that one. I rewatched The Nice Guys with
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
It was good the second time.
Yeah,
So,
I didn't
like
much
Shane
care
Black.
for it the first time around, but the second watch, I was really on board with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
I was-
cool to see Ryan Gosling play a character that's not as like debonair
Yeah.
as he usually is. Like
Yeah.
he's just a bumbling asshole, and I love it.
That's right.
keeping caught up on My Hero Academia, the Deku and Kachan fight in the previous episode. It might have been 2 episodes ago at this point.
I'm behind.
I've never
Well
watched
animated, very well
I
animated.
just
There's
know
a
about the frog one that ends up on Rule 34.
waifu, you mean?
Yeah.
She's 17.
What's your
Huh?
point?
Yeah. They'll just boost her age up to 18 in the comics, bud. It's like when they do...
They're predicted. All the fans are actually predicting a huge, giant time skip coming up in the manga.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
29-year-old Deku.
Yeah.
Macadamia Shippuden.
Wait, which one was it? Minda from Zelda or whatever? You know what I'm
Oh
talking
yeah, the
about?
little
Yeah. They always age her up to be like 20 something or whatever.
Well, her actual form is that of an adult woman.
Yeah, exactly.
She just
looks.
it was just
like.
it was just evil magic that turned her into a weird imp baby.
So no child porn.
This isn't Funhouse.
Oh god, I forgot they existed for a second. I like Funhouse.
I love
just I
Funhouse.
haven't watched them in
Same.
so long.
Demo Disc is good.
Yeah,
It's a fun
Demo Disc is fun.
And last night, actually, I caught up on almost all. I have 2 episodes left to catch up on for Black Clover.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people aren't on board with it because the main character is a shouter. Let's put it that way.
At work, we
So-
watched an hour-long compilation of the screams from Black Clover. We sat through like 20 minutes of it.
Are they beyond Kaneda Tetsuo levels?
They're like up there. They're really up there.
You stop
Okay,
hearing it.
It's
Yeah.
Kaneda
You do.
Tetsuo, but if it was 8 hours of Kaneda Tetsuo.
Yeah.
Because
really.
Kaneda Tetsuo is what, like 10 minutes?
Kaneda.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, but if you're watching this series, after about 5 or 6 episodes, at least for me, you don't hear it anymore.
It's a lot.
It's- I mean, it's better than Game of Thrones. You have to get to season 2.
Yeah.
Then it like no,
What? Who says season 1 of Game of Thrones is bad?
a lot of
A
people.
lot of people think it's really
A
bad.
lot of people.
I liked
It-
season 1.
I thought it was bad television.
What? Oh, season 1?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Season
Yeah.
1's the best adaptation of Game of Thrones.
That's where I came at it from. Yeah.
That's yeah.
Other than that, I think that's all.
Yeah.
That's a natural way to wrap things up.
Sadly, one of our cast members has shit to do.
Yeah, that's right.
But before we go, boys, is there anything that you want to plug? What's coming up? What's coming out?
Yeah, I just released a music video for Christ for his new album Deep Dark Trench, which is a very, very interesting concept album.
It was a neat video.
What, you liked it?
I did.
Yeah.
It's a good video.
Did you saw it as
I
well?
enjoyed it.
Did you see Isaac?
Not yet. No.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to watch it after this then.
I am the lead and only editor on Baked with Good Intentions. It's a kind of a sitcom about 2 guys in hell making a cooking show. It's a good time if you like theater references and Dr. Horrible sing along blog. It's kind of
I
along
love
those.
Dr. Horrible.
Yeah, it's kind of along those kind of same budgetary lines. Luke.
As usual, I'm on my Twitch channel. Most nights I try to be. I don't know when this episode will come out, but as of right now, I don't even know how far in is the halfway point maybe of the Spider-Man game.
You the thing that just happened in that last mission you did is like the kicking off point to end Act 2.
Okay. How many acts would you say there are?
There's 3.
Okay, so I'm a little over halfway done then. And after that, I'm jumping into the new Tomb Raider, and after that, who knows?
Excellent.
I have nothing. I am nothing.
Wow.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
What do we call you, Greg? Gary?
Gary. Totally
Yeah.
Gary.
Jerry.
Yeah.
The man
Yeah.
of many, the
Larry.
man of many names.
Carry them.
Well, until next time, this is Isaac,
Maggie.
I'm Lugatory.
I'm the man of many names.
signing out from the currently under Quota-Cast. Good night, and good luck.
Yeah, cooks.